that you want to know, but you may have questions that I don't ask. So if you do, you can use that opportunity to call into the show. There's two numbers you can dial.
You can dial 512-512-679673 or 888-860-9673.
So remember those numbers, write them down if you have questions for Rodney Allen Rippey. Now, those numbers are working, of course, every day, but as far as our show branching out on air, you can only call in to reach our show on Sundays because we're only on Sundays for now, but hopefully we'll work our way into being on every night. I know that's something that my son has wanted to do for a long time, is to be able to, come to our listeners each night on air. But for now, we're only on Sundays, and we're very appreciative to be on Sundays. It's an absolute honor, and it's totally fun for us. So just looking forward into the future, we want to speak with many more personalities who are doing something positive, who, has made a name for themselves in their career fields. Just to give you a quick recap of who we have interviewed, whether by phone or in studio, is NFL running back Cedric Benson. You may remember Cedric Benson from playing for the Texas Longhorns. He was the he was the running back. He was the star running back. He played for the Texas Longhorns. And we have also interviewed Donnie Little. Donnie Little made history by being the first black quarterback to play for the Texas Longhorns. And we talked to him during Black History Month, appropriately enough, about, the many firsts that he created, which, again, was being the first black quarterback to play for UT. We have also interviewed Dorothy Mays Clark, who is a friend of Saul Paul's. I think he was in one of her plays. Dorothy is a playwright. She's a vocalist. She was a 2010 Tony Award winner. She came into the studio and she talked to us about her experience of singing background with the legendary Dinah Ross. We've also had the police chief of Austin, Police Chief Art Acevedo, in the studio. He was on during Black History Month, and he shared his experience with listeners of being able to attend the inauguration. And he shared how Austin was one of 40, I believe it is, police enforcement teams to be able to attend the inauguration. And so we feel like we've had some diverse and unique personalities on our show, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to be diverse. We want to be unique. We want to get individuals on, our show and just share their stories. Because, again, I gain inspiration from all the accomplishment and just, hearing what our guests have gone through and, what they have done, all to be successful in the career that they're passionate about, the career that they want to have. So, going forward, we hope to get, one person I hope to get is R&B singer Usher. I've been a fan of Usher's ever since he was young. I remember seeing his videos when he was younger. Always liked his dance moves. I mean, Usher can, of course, if you like Usher, he can dance. That goes without saying. He can sing. We definitely would like to interview him because he was born in Dallas. So, although branching out typically focuses on individuals that were born, raised, or currently living in Austin that has excelled in the career fields of education, music, entertainment, and sports. We're also doing what our name implies, which is branching out and speaking to Texas-born artists, if not Austin, Texas-born artists, and even, we're going to go beyond that. We're going to go to national personalities who weren't born in Texas. So I'm looking forward to having Usher on our show. I believe that once we explain what our mission is, what our goal is, that Usher will give us an interview because, as I often say, it's not all about me being able to brag and just reach for people just for the sake of reaching for them. I'm trying to bring them into our listeners to share again their stories of what they did, what they went through to accomplish what they did. And I know many of these artists, they explain and share their stories in countless magazines, on countless television interviews and other radio interviews. But when we reach out and request an interview with someone, we feel like we make it personal for our listening audience. And, to me, that just brings goals and dreams of individuals who are listening to us a little bit closer to them. I know that, it would be for me. If I read, a story about someone who's accomplished something in Atlanta or New York, it will still be an inspiration. But then when they come to, an Austin radio station or, a radio show or TV show that comes on in Austin, it just makes it feel a little bit more personal for me. And, like they're actually speaking, I don't know, to me, or it just makes it more personal. So Usher is an R&B artist we would like to interview. We also want to interview President Barack Obama. That is definitely an accomplishment. He ran for the president of the United States, and, it's something that had never been done before, of course, is to have an African-American gentleman not only run, but run and win the presidency. So, that's a story within itself. That's a testimony within itself. That's inspiration within itself for all of the future presidents out here, no matter what nationality you are, to keep that dream alive. So those are a couple of individuals that we want to interview for Branching Out on Air, which is our live radio show here in Austin. So, we're just having a lot of fun with the radio show. Ajante and I were having loads of fun with that show. And I've been getting so many compliments for me choosing my son as my co-host. But for me, that just came naturally. I couldn't think of anyone else that I would want to have as a co-host. My son is 11 years old, and I wanted to provide this opportunity for him to get behind the mic, be on a live radio show, and just have him experience everything, because I want him to keep his mind open as far as what type of job he wants to have. Now I'm learning that he is a technology whiz. He's getting to be a computer whiz. He found out about Spreaker before I did. He started an account. He knows how to work the board. And so, he is seeing now at a young age, even at the age of 11, all the possibilities that are open to him. He's getting a chance to explore his intelligence and see what he likes. Because if it's one thing that, I encourage him to do, is to work for himself, put his talent out here, no matter who else may be doing the same thing that he wants to do. Discover what his passion is, discover what his talent is, what his God-given talent and his God-given purpose is. And if he does that, I guarantee him and every child out here that you will be successful. Just find out what your passion is, what you want to wake up doing in the morning, what you love to do all day, what you go to bed thinking about. That, those are signs of your true passion. So, I have to thank my son, as I have done on earlier shows, for, letting me see what he's doing when he's on Spreaker, letting me hear his show, encouraging me to also start my own show on Spreaker. It was because of my son's encouragement that I have this show on Spreaker. And I'm very proud of my son, because he actually has 22 followers now. And I think he's only been doing the show for about a month. Definitely not, more than a month. And the 22 followers that are following him, I'm glad that they see something in him that, they like. And he just gets on his show, and it's called the Ajante Update Show. And he gets on his show and he updates us. He updates listeners on what we're doing on Branching Out on Air. He takes time on his show to update what we're doing on the radio, and he shows respect to the radio show that he's on by, giving attention to branching out on air. So he and I now, we both have our own show. I have 2 followers. I've had this account probably not even a week yet, just about 3 days now. So my son's following me, and I have 1 other follower. So I hope that when you are listening to Catching Up with Robin, if you hear anything you like, if anything has been an inspiration to you, please follow this show. We want to just come to you and update you about things that we're doing on the radio and what's going on in my mind and in my world. My producer, who again is my son, is telling me that we're up to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the commercial. Everybody, we are back with Catching Up with Robin. I'm your host, Robin.
And I'm Ajante.
He's also my co-host and my producer, so he's doing 2 things at once, and I am so proud of him. And he also hosts his own show. As I was saying before the break, his show is called the Ajante Update Show. So if you get a chance to listen to his show, you will hear what's on his mind. I give him total freedom and total control over his show. He's very giving of his time on his show. He talks a lot about our radio show that we do here live in Austin each Sunday. He also takes time to interview me on his show, and that's always fun. Just to know that my son wants to take time as my son and me being his mother to devote time to me. That's a definite blessing, because sometimes children have their parents on their mind last or not on their mind at all. So for my son to take time to want me to be involved in what he's doing, to want me to take time to play with him, to really like the time that he spends with me, that's a huge, huge blessing to me. And I also want to thank you for taking time to listen to this show. I don't take anything for granted. If you listen the entire 30 minutes, which is something I hope that you do, but if you listen for 16 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 20 minutes, I definitely want to thank you for your time. Please know that you are thanked, and I don't take it for granted. If you like this show, Catching Up with Robin, please be a follower of this show. I hope that we will inspire you. I hope that we will inform you. I hope that we will encourage you. I hope that we will make you laugh and just, bring some uniqueness and entertainment, through this show for you. And my son, who again is my producer, is telling me that we have to wrap up. So thank you again for your time. Remember, Catching Up with Robin. Thank you.
Bye.